And here is the Vegan's Almanac for today, the 18th of May. National Vegetarian Week is celebrated during the third week of May each year. The vegetarian myth is that animals are not being killed in the dairy and egg industries and are therefore less cruel than the meat industries. The truth is, cows are killed for their milk, and chickens are slaughtered for their eggs. A cow's natural life expectancy is about 20 years, but those used by the dairy industry are typically killed after 3 to 5 years. Their bodies are turned into soup, food for dogs and cats, or ground beef because they're too spent to be profitable for their milk. Animals used for meat are reared and then killed. Cows used for dairy, however, are exploited and abused for years and then killed. Is one industry worse when it comes to causing cows to suffer? A 2022 study from the University of Copenhagen suggests so. A global panel of 70 experts concluded that cows exploited for their milk the world over and their calves generally have worse welfare than cows used for meat, who are treated abysmally. In the dairy industry, farmers separate mother cows from their calves, keeping them from nursing their young, and constantly stress them with handling and milking. Breeding cows for high milk output has also predisposed them to devastating health issues. We can live happily without cheese, and cows shouldn't have to live on farms where they're forcibly impregnated and then robbed of their children over and over again. The egg industry is no better. The beak of a typical hen will be cut off with a hot blade while she's still a chick. Then she and 4 to 10 other hens will be crammed into a tiny battery cage together. Since these cages are often stacked on top of one another, it's common for urine and feces to fall into the lower cages. This hen and others like her will likely die after only 2 years because of these living conditions. If she doesn't, she'll be sent to slaughter, where she'll meet the same bloody end as that of chickens raised for their flesh. Birds who produce so-called cage-free eggs spend their entire lives confined to cramped sheds, despite the sprawling green pastures and happy hens depicted on the cartons. Vegetarians often cut out meat only to consume even more dairy and eggs. If you have a heart, being vegetarian just isn't enough. Find the joy of living vegan. It's the birthday of Brigitte Gothiere, born on this day in 1973. Brigitte Gothiere is a French animal rights activist. She is the director and spokesperson of the animal rights organization L214, which she co-founded. The name L214 was derived from a French law passed in 1976, which recognized animals as fellow sentient beings and called for their protection. However, as Brigitte explains, this law was never enforced. Gothiere married fellow animal rights activist Sebastian Arsac in 1996. In 1998, along with her husband, she became an editor of an anti-speciesist journal. She remained the editor until its final publication in 2019. In 2003, alongside a few other activists, she launched the grassroots campaign Stop Gavage, which fought against the forced feeding of geese and ducks. L214 raises awareness of animal rights by disseminating shocking images from slaughterhouses. Through its various campaigns, the organization advocates for a transition toward a vegan world where animals are no longer viewed as resources at our disposal. Its mission is to help people understand that animals, like us, are sentient beings and must be treated with compassion and respect. L214 is one of the most influential nonprofit animal rights associations in France. Brigitte Gothiere has argued that only a vegan society would amount to success, but that small steps are progress. And here's a prayer for our dear farmed animal friends by Ryugen Doshin Yamada. With great devotion we pray for the good health of our dear animal friends. We send healing energy to all who may be sick or injured. We employ all effort to remove both physical and spiritual obstacles that might prevent our dear animal friends living long, happy lives. We recognize as humans we are often the cause of illness to our dear animal friends through confined animal feeding lots, keeping our dear animal friends in unclean facilities, inflicting injuries, ignoring symptoms of disease, and a general apathy for our dear animal friends. We also pray for the long life and good health for all the folks who work diligently at caring for the health of our dear animal friends, veterinarians, veterinary assistants, animal rescuers, animal investigators, and sanctuaries. A prayer for our dear farmed animal friends by Ryugen, Doshin, Yamada. This has been the Vegan's Almanac with a reminder to stand up for the lives of animals today.